Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful 30th of July, 2024. Coming up in this overdue episode of the Crusty podcast, episode 302, Clowns and Crowns. Yes, more government officials in denial, a ridiculous opening ceremony for the Paris Olympics, and believe it or not, people are defecating in public. Oh my. All that more come on the podcast. Please stick around. Listener review discretion is advised because I will swear, I will be critical, and I might hurt some feelings or something. Anyway, stick around, folks.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me.
Yes, sir.
There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast, a Canadian veteran's point of view on political, social, economic issues and life. Here's Crusty.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you're to episode 302 of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Well, what the fuck, or what the fudge, or where's the funds, or where's the fun? Clowns and Crowns, episode 302. And this episode is brought to you in part by and supported by Veterans for Freedom Network. That's right, Stand 2, Veterans for Freedom. Link will be in the description. And coming soon, hopefully by the fall, Veterans for Freedom TV. That's right, like-minded individuals such as myself and others out there will be on this broadcast channel, hopefully sometime in the future. Hello, everybody. I am your host, Crusty Canuck. Thank you all for the undivided loyalty and sticking around as much as you have. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've had a decent episode up to. I've had some issues with some people on the Fiverr channel, and I don't want to mention them without authorization. However, it's a pretty decent service. They help you get things on the go. They help you find animators. They help you find promoters. However, I've had some issues with a couple of promoters. And I admit I spent about $40 on one guy who didn't perform as well as he said. Basically, I called him out in his BS, and I told him that he was fired. I didn't get any money back, but I did get money back from one individual that said that she would promote my work. However, it was just promoted in Nigeria. Basically, I've had people maybe watch my show for about 6, 7, if I'm lucky, even 10 seconds. So basically, it's just bots and terrible views, ladies and gentlemen. My fault on that. My terrible, my bad, my stinky. It cost me. But I did get some money back out of a falsehood because I did report said individuals to the powers that be at Fiverr, and they sorted it out as we thought. So as we speak, there are some individuals out there that are legitimate. But needless to say, some of these ass clowns like to rip people off. So I had a few of them fired. Great. Exactly. Make a long story short, don't buy the BS. And if anyone is watching this podcast right now and they want to offer me something at the 3:13 minute mark, bugger off. Unless you got some legitimate advice or some real legitimate help for basically pennies on the dollar, because I'm not going to spend any more money on stupid idiots that say they're promoting when they're just ripping people off too. So if anyone is out there who is an up-and-coming podcaster or who's trying to get into the market per se, don't fall for the scams from these clowns. Now, it doesn't matter where they're from per se, but they only cater to people they know, and they create networks based on who they know, and they create false accounts, and they create false identities because they all have different names, but they all have certain emails that interconnect and network and shit. Make a long story short, they're scammers. So don't waste your time, ladies and gentlemen. But like I say, the title card says episode 302 overdue, Clowns and Crowns. So we're getting some more garbage from the federal government in regards to the immigration policy in this country, especially in regards to building. And I know in Nova Scotia right now, there's a lot of construction workers and carpenters that are out of work. So they're not trying too hard to build houses. And as I mentioned prior to the start of the show, now I don't have any video of this, but I will have links that I'll put in my description for you, ladies and gentlemen, to read along at your own leisure about people defecating on our public beaches and in public, as far as we know. There's a big stink in Wasaga Beach right now, Wasaga Beach, Ontario, just on the other side of Barrie there on Georgian Bay. Beautiful beach, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen Wasaga Beach, I highly suggest you check it out. The longest freshwater beach in the world. Impressive. And it's I remember being there as a kid. I remember being there in my teen years. It's quite the event, quite the meat market, quite the party place. A lot of decent bands used to play there. I remember one time I had tickets to go see Honeymoon Suite. I don't know what the hell happened, but needless to say, it was it was a mainstay in our lives as kids, right? And now there's reports of people that are there having family fun and all those barbecues, what have you, and they're literally defecating in a hole. They would all dig a little hole in the beach and defecate in there. They'd throw themselves in there, their matters, and they throw baby diapers in there and bury it and just leave it there without any regard to anything. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure I know how beach erosion works, right? Every year, waves come up, take some sand with it. Waves come up, take some sand with it. And up until the fall, when the currents get stronger, bring some more up, get ready for the big freeze. And, Georgian Bay does freeze, ladies and gentlemen. Freshwater lakes do freeze. And contrary to the myth, it brings that crap out into the water. And before you know it, if more and more people are allowed to defecate in the beaches, and more and more people are allowed to defecate and nothing is done about it in the name of culture and race and inclusivity and all this other DEI BS, you're going to have one hell of a problem when it comes to water tables and when it comes to cleanliness of people swimming in that water. Even though some water sources come from the Great Lakes, they get filtered out and cleaned properly and all that, and people drink it. So if you have individuals, and I don't care where you're from, this is not a racial statement, this is not a slam to any culture. To anybody who gets the bright idea to sit and crouch and stump and take a crunch on a public beach where people are walking back and forth, kids play there and play in the sand, I think you've got a problem. And I think you better sort it out. And I'd like to see more of these municipalities and more of these leaders and more of these so-called experts when it comes to inclusivity sort it out. Do something. Have some stiffer penalties. Instead of giving $100 ticket to somebody who wants to take a little poop here and there, how about you hand them $1,000 ticket and some community service to clean up the mess afterwards? There's incentive, right? Sort your shit out. No pun. Right? There's also quite the picture going around the Facebook and other feeds too of a Sikh man at a gas station, basically bent over taking a crunch by a gas pump, right? And if you look in the background of that picture, you will see that there's a Tim Hortons there and a convenience store there. And apparently that plaza is owned by a former Liberal MP who happens to be Sikh. Now, I'm not dissing the Sikh culture here. I've worked with Sikhs and they're fantastic people, right? But when an individual takes it upon himself, regardless if he's wearing a turban or wearing a cap or something like this, or he was wearing no hat at all, and you stoop over and crunch by a gas pump, I think you have a problem. Now, I don't care if you have a stomach issue or if you have, if you really had to go that badly, there's a problem with that, especially when you're that close to actual facilities that would be more than happy to let you do your thing. Not that I trust too many gas station bathrooms, nor do I really trust a lot of Tim Hortons bathrooms lately. But I think you see my point, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I don't care where you're from. Don't poop on the street and don't poop on the beach. It's that simple. Not only is it a hygienic thing, it's also a dysentery thing. It also causes a lot of bad things. They had that issue back in the 1300s, hence the bubonic plague. People got sick, died, became rat food. And rats festered because people never cleaned up themselves. People never cleaned themselves properly. People end up throwing their fecal matter and urine in the streets, and they couldn't figure out what was happening. Probably because you're throwing disease right in the front in the mouth of babes, basically, right? So that being said, I'm not going to dwell on that poop issue too much. That's just fucking disgusting. Oh, I tell you, some people's kids, but you got to start cracking down hard on these issues, really. Because I hate to say it, if nobody does, people are going to get sick. And then what? You're going to have to hear the whole "we told you so," right? Something to think about.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And you're back to episode 302, ladies and gentlemen, the Crusty Canuck podcast. What the F? Clowns and Crowns, episode 302. If you like and hear what you see, please click like, subscribe, share this podcast all over your social media platforms too. Do not hesitate to give me a couple of comments or two, thumbs up, all that, get the algorithm going there too. And to my new subscribers out there, thank you very much. I did have some great new subscribers that have said some wonderful things over the past couple episodes. And please check out my shorts. You'll see it right there on my channel too. I don't mean literally check out my shorts. I mean the short videos I make now too. I use a different piece of software. And it's really inexpensive. So I'm basically paying pennies a video to get it up there. So that is a fantastic thing. I've had a lot of views in that too. So don't hesitate to comment, click like, subscribe, and share all over your social media platforms, ladies and gentlemen, because you're all wonderful. You're all wonderful out there. And I hope you're all having a great summer too. I'm having a fantastic time. I'm now off work. And tomorrow evening, I will be flying to Ontario to see my family. I have some family I haven't seen in about 8 years. So I'm going to get on that like a fat kid and a smarty, Just got to, get that done. I'm also going to be spending some time with some high school friends I haven't seen in 8 years. Back in 2016, my mother passed away. And it was a weird month because I was still in the military and I had some bereavement time. I had some compassionate, and I had my regular summer leave. So basically, I had about a month and a week to sort some stuff out. And the last time I saw all my family was then. So, I'm going to be seeing some people that really mean a lot to me. Of course, my father, my stepmother, my sisters, nieces and nephews, all that good stuff too. And I'll try to keep you all updated accordingly, ladies and gentlemen, via the community page and Facebook too. You can check me out on Facebook. I put a lot of tidbits up there too. Just look for Crusty Canuck on Facebook. You find me on Twitter. Look for Crusty Canuck on Twitter and here on the tube and Rumble accordingly, ladies and gentlemen. But I'll keep you all posted. I won't be making any videos, but I will be bringing my computer with me because I intend to do some writing some stories and screenplays. Oh my, yes, get some good stories, imagination flowing out there. Yeah, and just to get the keep things focused. So I won't be doing much political stuff, but I'll do what I can to keep you all posted, all you wonderful, gorgeous people out there. So stay tuned for that. But like the title crowd says, ladies and gentlemen, clowns and crowns, what the F? So we've heard enough about the federal government not doing anything, especially in their speculation in regards to Mark Carney, probably taking over part of the Liberal Party, whether it be in the capacity of the finance minister or deputy prime minister, or he might take Justin's job. I really don't care. They're all fucking phonies, ladies and gentlemen. They're all crownies. They're all shitheads. I don't trust them as far as I'm going to throw them. And my condolences out there to the people of Jasper, Alberta. I am terribly sorry for what's been going on there. The whole issue with the wildfire thing too, and homes being lost, businesses being lost, and more of this climate garbage being rammed down our throats too. I like to remind anyone out there, especially some of the diehard pro clenchers who haven't been watching this show, right? Wood does not spontaneously combust. Dry fall and garbage and stuff over the years that's been piled up and things that have been sorted out. Poor management, and all it takes is a lightning strike or somebody with a match to ignite it all. So to all the climate wannabes out there and all the crusaders, up yours. Okay, because I've talked to people that work in the forest fire industry, for firefighters, administrators, and people that actually watch on how forest fires start. Everything from the top to the bottom. And a lot of them say it's got nothing to do with the climate. Yeah, it's getting hotter outside. It's getting drier outside. That's got nothing to do with it. It's human error, i.e. campfires, people tossing cigarette butts, and people that actually are happy with lighters to do things to make a point. Not to mention what lightning can do, right? Which is a factor in a lot of forest fires. As far as I can remember, they always talk about lightning strikes hitting this spot, that spot, boom, boom. There you go. Or sparks from an engine or sparks from an ATV. It happens. It happens, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not denying the fact that climate might be a subtle issue, but not to a point where we have to run for our lives and hide and cry in our oatmeal and let the likes of people like Stephen Gilbert and all these other clowns walk around telling us what to do for the sake of a few more dollars in our gas tank. What a bunch of assholes, right? But that's all I'm going to leave for the clowns issue right now, too. Because sometimes I just get so sick and tired of talking about politicians. I get so fed up with these ass clowns, honestly. Right? They say one thing and then they're talking out their ass in another. Then they're picking their nose here and they're tickling someone else's wallet over here. So we've all seen the rhetoric, the back and forth, the banter. Doesn't matter if you're left, doesn't matter if you're right. It just means, I don't know, right? So it's getting difficult to really, really trust anybody. And it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. To my American listeners out there, it's the same thing. How can you trust half the bantering back and forth too? Cackling Kamala Harris, I don't trust her. If I was an American, I wouldn't trust her. No, I'd actually probably feel better voting for a guy like Trump or somebody other than Biden or Kamala. Make a long story short, I really don't trust any of them. I can trust Trump to get things done, but other than that, I don't know. It's tough to say. It's really tough to say. Up here in the Great White North in Canada, yes, oh Canada, right? We've got a lot of ass clowns calling the shots. Why? Because we, the people, allowed it to happen. And don't have the balls right now to really overthrow the government and have a revolution. We tried that peacefully at one time. Some people I know that are in the convoy tried that very peacefully, and they can tell you the same thing. It was peaceful, peaceful, peaceful. The only violence that came to that circle that was going on there was the authorities swinging their batons, pushing people around, all in the name of safety, right? And we all know how the government looks after our safety. But not the clown dogma. It's episode 302, ladies and gentlemen. What the F? Clowns and crowns. So, the Paris Olympics are on. And the outrage over the opening ceremonies, over a depiction of the Last Supper, and yet people are weighing in saying, well, it's a depiction of Dionysus, and it's a depiction of this. Needless to say, I don't care where you sit on the religious scale. I really don't. Okay? But as someone outside looking in and watching the part of that ceremony, the only thing that really disgusted me about it was they're trying too hard to say they're being inclusive, and yet they're not being inclusive. You know what I mean? There's so many people that are dressed up to be this and dressed up to be that, yet they're not dressed up to be themselves unless they're flamboyant 24/7 or unless they're overweight 24/7. That's up to them. I personally don't care. But when you try to depict something from a religion, which I thought was always taboo because you can't make fun of the Muslim faith, you can't make fun of the Jewish faith, but hey, have at her when it comes to the Christian faith. Now, I'm not Christian, ladies and gentlemen. I've said that before. I'm not really an atheist either. I like to think of myself as more of a humanist. I like to think of myself as more of a libertarian. You do you, I do me, and everything's fine. And the moment you preach any kind of gospel that involves putting a gun to someone's head or cutting something off or slicing something off or cutting this out, cutting that out, and throwing people off a roof, I don't think that religion's really good for anybody. That's just me, though. We could talk about the contradictions in all big three of the faith. Needless to say, you have to respect people for what they believe in, especially in the name of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. But equity is a tricky word because the individual shall build equity for him or herself, not for the masses, right? This whole collectivist idea is failing, and yet people keep trying hard. So when I look at the opening ceremonies of all these different drag queens and pseudo-homosexual whatever, I don't care. My lifestyle's not compromised because of it. But needless to say, it was a gong show because I lost a job in the name of DEI, right? Because someone didn't like my words and they were scared. Oh my God, that's scary. I just can't face this individual. When in reality, it means this person doesn't have the balls to face her fears and to stand up against something that she might agree with or might disagree with. Needless to say, she didn't stand up when she had the chance. So she was given the safe card out. All in the name of inclusion. I don't care who does what. I don't care if you have an archer and he's gay. I don't care if you have a 400-meter relay swimmer and she's gay. I don't care. I don't care who's gay or straight or bi or tri. That has nothing to do with the fucking Olympic Games. What has to do with the Olympic Games is that the world gets together to do something that's pretty cool. Because I've actually met a couple of Olympians. And the amount of time they've had to train and to qualify and the money and the sacrifices to train and qualify over and over again can be fucking nerve-wracking. So you give yourself a salute or you give those individuals a salute that actually made it. And then when they get to said podium or get to said event, then you got to understand how they're mired in all of this, whatever. And to the viewer at home that actually enjoys watching Olympic Games, what is it? What is it you're promoting? You don't give a shit about the colors or the sequences or the statements. You just want to see what this country is going to do to promote a good event. You want to watch what the country is going to do in regards to hosting and putting on a great fucking show. Keep the fucking politics out of it. Keep the social justice warrior shit out of it. Just put on a goddamn show. Because I know the French taxpayers are getting pretty pissed off as it is already. And the last thing they want to do is a goddamn march in the clowns just to make a handful of people happy.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 302 of the Crusty Canuck podcast. What the F? Clowns and Crowns. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck. If you like and hear what you see, please click like, subscribe. Do not hesitate to share this around. Please give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment or two. I want all my world audience out there to say hello. How's it going? Give me a comment. And I like to tell some individuals that apparently, quote unquote, subscribed. I'm not a songwriter. So if you're going to give me a comment about a song, make sure you're actually talking about a song and not a spoken word or a broadcast or a podcast like I'm doing right here. I don't sing songs. I don't. I sometimes sing in the shower. I do little humming exercises to move my vocal cords before I do a show. But I'm not a songwriter. I'm not a singer per se. I'm no Neil Diamond or Leonard Cohen. I can write some pretty nasty lyrics if I had to, but I'm not a singer. So those fake comments out there, gotcha. Anyhow, before I blow a gasket here, more of the crowns thing too. Now, I don't like dwelling in it because there's people in my life that I know that are gay. I know a couple of bisexual people, and it has nothing to do with me dating them or not dating them. It has to do with what they are as people. They're good characters. I've seen them go above and beyond for other people, and it's not because of their sexual preference, because they choose to be that kind of person. It's their character. And we have to remember that, ladies and gentlemen, the character of people. Who cares if Bob and Steve are together? Who cares if June and Jane get together? I don't care. Who cares if Bob and Edna, June and Jane swing? I don't care. If it's not hurting them, fine. But the moment you do something and that hurts other people, you got to think about it too, right? So when you see that poster, I'll just put up my title card here again, ladies and gentlemen, right? You look at that, on the crown side here. Okay, so it does symbolize the Last Supper or Dionysus's journey, whatever who wants to believe in it or not. But you're just seeing a lot of sexuality. What do the Olympics have to do with sexuality? Maybe in the Greek days, we had grown men wrestling in the sand, bare naked. Okay, well, good for them. It's not my cup of tea per se, but that was ancient Greece. Who gives a shit? I'm talking about now in the 21st century. Who cares? Love who you want. As long as you're not hurting people, everything's fine. And still focus on the thing of the Olympics where people are supposed to get together and enjoy and friendly compete in any event. I laugh at some of the competitions they have now. I'm not going to get into that. I might say that for the episode, but I laugh at some of the Olympic events that are going on. I should throw it up there with dwarf tossing, some of them. But you didn't hear that from me, ladies and gentlemen. But make a long story short, the Olympics are meant to unite the world in the theater of sport and friendly competition. I'm happy that our Canadian athletes are getting ahead too. And for all the feminists out there, for the record, a young lady, I forget her name, won the 400-meter relay, got gold, and she beat the second place American by 6 seconds. That's something, right? And a young lady, I think from British Columbia, won gold in judo too. So she was kicking ass and taking names. So well done to our athletes there. And it's good to see that there's a little more interest when it comes to the Olympic Games. I haven't watched too much of it too because it's on CBC, and I don't watch CBC. I think they're full of shit. I don't know. I don't trust them anymore. And ladies and gentlemen, I highly recommend we have to look at our mainstream media, especially here in Canada, with a finer tooth comb every other day or every day to the best of our ability, because they're just full of it. And I don't trust them as much as I thought I was, or I thought I was going to, but not as much as I used to either. So that being said, so in this episode of Crowns and Clowns, or Clowns and Crowns, well, it's just, we're not seeing the genuine articles anymore. We're not seeing genuine leaders anymore. And I can honestly say that from both sides of the border. Some of the Americans I have talked to, they're not impressed at all with anyone. Okay. And they'll vote for the lesser evil. They'll vote for the lesser guy that's going to cause the least damage. That kind of sucks. But in the same sense, they're using the democratic right to do so, as we should up here too, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter, right? Can you trust Pierre Poilievre? For the economy, I think I can. But when it comes to actually building up our military and getting a proper spending procedure in order, that's going to take some time. And that doesn't take a rocket science to figure it out. That doesn't take an economics major to figure it either, too. Right? The federal government has borrowed money to give away money. Look at Ukraine. The federal government has borrowed money to give away money. Look at the UN. The federal government has borrowed money to give away money to their little quests and little jaunts and journeys in parts of Africa in the name of inclusion, in the name of diversity. When we have so much diversity in our own backyard, and the federal government still fails to realize that. Look at the diversity we have in our First Nations, all the different tribes, all the different cultures, all the creeds. You got the Blackfoot, you got the Cree, you got the Mohawk, you got the Huron, you got the Algonquin, the Mi'kmaq. List goes on. Different languages, different pronunciations. Lots of culture there. Why doesn't the federal government spend billions on that? They'll spend billions on a pipeline that they want to use. Idiots, right? But that's just my suggestion, though, too, ladies and gentlemen. Anyhow, this is probably going to be my last episode. I'm going to try to put another episode up tomorrow if I can. If I can't, ladies and gentlemen, please do not take it seriously or take it personally. Please take it seriously, but don't take it personally. Like I said, I'm going on holiday for a few weeks, so I won't be around as much. But I will try to get something up for you tomorrow night if I can before I leave. But needless to say, it's been a real slice, and I appreciate all the comments and the kindness that have been given to me the past few months on this show, too. Please keep liking, keep subscribing, keep commenting. Share this all over your social media platforms. Don't be shy, ladies and gentlemen. I just need some time off to see my family because I haven't had a holiday in about, God. The more I think about it, Jesus, about 4 years. No, I'm sorry. It's been about, any kind of time off, more than a week. It's been, been about 5 years. Not that I'm complaining, because there's people I know and people I have worked with who can't afford to take any time off. So I am grateful. And I'm grateful for all of you out there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm grateful for the people that have downloaded my show, give me the warm comments, and please share this around. If you feel like donating, consider donating. Links will be in the description. All right, I'll keep it up highlighted there too for all you wonderful human beings out there. And don't be shy. Give what you can. I have incentive on the Buy Me a Coffee program. You donate a consistent $3 a month, you're automatically entered to win a T-shirt. If you consistently donate $10 a month, you'll be automatically entered into a T-shirt and hat and swimsuit draw. So you get some free swagger, and you can enter as many times as you want to. Enter by donating, ladies and gentlemen, $3 or $10. So it's up to you. Or you can just watch my show for free too. I'm not going to demand coin. I'm not going to demand things, but every little bit helps, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful people like you can make that happen. Anyhow, I have been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 30th of July, 2024. I wish good things for you too. It's summertime, so get out there and have some fun. Enjoy the sand, enjoy the surf, and mind the poop. Like I said, mind the poop. Mind the poop. Dysentery and all, tetanus, all that good stuff. But, just be careful. Hydrate, spend some time with your family and friends, enjoy your loved ones' company, and do what you can to help you out in these trying times, ladies and gentlemen. And like I always say, humanity and merit wins the day. Take care, and I hope to see you tomorrow night. Bye for now.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worth.
This has been another episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Stay sane and thank you for listening. From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast.
Heard, understood, and acknowledged. Who up? Always going to remember you, brothers and sisters. Cheers.